Welcome back to Lesson 10 in Excel for Busy Salespeople, creating a dynamic range in a pivot table. My name is Byron Holloway, and let's continue with the course. So we have our data. In this case, it's sales data that comes in every month, and next month we get a new set of data. So we go in, we've got our new data. So I've posted the new data down here at the bottom, so it's 2019, just so you'll be able to see it easily on the pivot table. And I'm going to go over here, I'm going to hit refresh, and of course there's no 2019 data. So why is that? So I'm going to look at the data source, and of course my data source remained fixed from the original creation of the pivot table. In this case, it's the data tab, cell A1 through cell S1130. Now, I could always just go in and change this, but the real thing that you want to have is a data set that changes with you every single time the data changes. So how would I accomplish this? So let's look at the formula. The formula here is called offset. It can be a little bit of a confusing formula the first time you see it. So I'm going to try to break it down just a little bit. And I'll go in here. Well, that gave me the answer, but I want to show you that. So here's the different portions of the argument. So the first portion is the reference. In this case, it's looking for the tab called data and then cell A1. This refers to what's called it shows here in help. It says rows and columns. In general, for our purposes, we are going to leave these set to 0. This offset function is a pretty powerful function, and you can use it to find data sets in the middle of larger data sets. But for what we're doing, these are always going to be set to 0. And then the next question is, what is the height of my table and what is the width of my table? So the height is simply the number. So I said count A. So count the number of cells that have data in them from column A. So instead of going from A1 to A99999, it just goes from A to A. And then I said count the number of columns that have data in it using row 1 as my reference. So here it shows me that there's 1136 rows and 19 columns. So that's the amount of data that I have in this data set. So what I want to do now is create a range so that I can use this. Unfortunately, Excel doesn't let you use this formula directly. So if I went here to the pivot table, so here's just going to copy that. If I went to the pivot table and said change data source and just tried to put that formula in there, it's not going to let me do it. I need to create a range. So I'm going to go in here to my formulas tab, go to the name manager, and I'm going to create a new name. And I'm going to call this name data. I could call it anything else. Maybe it's confusing if I call everything data, but for me it's more clear because that's what I'm referring to. And then what does it refer to? And I'm just going to paste that function. So again, it's the data tab A1, no rows, no columns, and then how tall or wide is it? It's the width of column. It's the width of all of the number of characters in column A, and it's the height, and it's the width of all of the stuff in row 1. Okay, so now I have a name called data. So if I go back here to my pivot table tools, I'm going to change the data source, and I can use data as my range. And now you'll see there's 2019 data that I just put in because there's just a few rows of it. So now if I go to my data source, every time I add a new row and refresh, so I'm just going to put a couple of rows in here for giggles, Control C. Whoops. Go back to my data, grab a couple of rows, paste them down here, and I'll put 2020. That's too many zeros. All right, so there's some 2020 data. I'm going to go back to my pivot table. I'm going to hit refresh. Boom, instant data. So no matter what I do to this pivot table, no matter what I do to my data set, the pivot table is going to reflect the number of rows and columns in my pivot table. So that's going to wrap it up for the dynamic range. This is by far one of the most useful tools that I have for keeping track of constantly changing data sets. Otherwise, you put the data in, you forget to update your table because it's not a full year's worth of data and it doesn't just pop out like this does. And then you don't know why your totals don't match a different set of totals. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll get started. We'll get started on the next lesson, which is conditional formatting. Thanks very much, and we hope to see you soon.